This week we're going to highlight harvest progress for beans here in the U.S. as well as weather trends. We're also going to take a look at the updated export trends here for beans in the U.S., which continue to be a bit concerning, and wrap things up with long-term trends in November soybean futures. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the soybean market. We've moved in the middle of October here, and this bean market has rebounded modestly. We're going to start out this week looking at our final crop condition ratings for the 2023 growing season. Now again, as harvest progresses here, the crop condition ratings will be discontinued. The final ratings for the season were 52% good to excellent. That was fractionally higher than last week's 51%, but notice it was well below last year's 57% level. We did see some deterioration across parts of Kansas, Missouri, as well as in Wisconsin. We did see some modest improvement, however, up in North Dakota and Illinois, and several states were unchanged. Our final crop condition index for the season here, you can see it's at a multi-year low. We have to go all the way back to the 2012 year, which is not shown here, to see ratings this low. So USDA did lower that soybean yield, of course, in last week's supply-demand report. Let's now look at harvest pace here. As of middle of October, we're at 62% harvested nationwide, a pretty brisk harvest thus far. On average, U.S. soybeans harvested increase approximately 26% between October 15th to the 29th. So weather permitting, we may be pushing 85 to 90% by the end of the month. Speaking of weather, let's take a look at the short-term trends in the U.S. as well as South America. As usual, our slides are courtesy of T-Storm Weather. We're starting out here in the U.S. this week looking at the next 7 days. Not much rainfall at all across that map, the exception being the far eastern Corn Belt, some really light amounts there. So hopefully it'll be a good week this week to wrap up soybean harvest in many areas. Now we're looking at the 2-week total here from GFS. You can see that there's a lot of areas there that are going to be normal, actually a bit wet out west. So the implication is probably it's going to be a wetter trend next week, that final week of October. So bean harvest should be brisk this week, but could slow next week. Let's shift our attention now to South America. Last spring, of course, South America had a varied result, if you will. Argentina had a very bad drought. Brazil, the largest crop ever. Starting out in Argentina here, there is some drought relief on the horizon, particularly across the south. Now they're just getting ready to start planting beans in South America, specifically, I should say, in Argentina. So it's a long way to go, but we'll see if this is a change in trend down there. Now we're looking at our focus in northern Brazil. Northern Brazil, central and northern Brazil, that is where they are planting now. It's been a bit of a slow start because it's been too dry in northern Brazil. That's why this rainfall coming up here next week, October 24th to 26th, is important because producers will plant when they get some soil moisture there for germination. So that's something we'll be watching closer as we move throughout the fall. Let's switch gears now and focus on export trends here in the U.S. Now this is a slide looking at unshipped sales of U.S. beans. You can see we're at a multi-year low. We have to go all the way back to 1920, a 4-year low. The big change between the last 3 years has been the reduced demand from China. Unshipped sales to China are down 49% from last year and 52% from the 3-year average. So we just don't have that demand pull so far from China. And the reason for that, of course, is increased shipments from Brazil. Let's wrap things up this week looking at long-term trends in November soybeans. Now, November bean futures as we tape here on Tuesday for 2023 are trading near $12.95 a bushel. You can see we're right in the middle of that crop insurance pricing period, so we strongly encourage you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to manage these newly harvested 2023 bushels. We've added this week the first look at 2024 November soybean futures trading at $12.60 a bushel. You can see we're still about 4.5 months before we reach that first crop insurance period for next year. So that's something you also want to discuss with your trusted risk management advisor. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants who'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an upload. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.